Today we got the Hulk's counterpart, Red Hulk, going up against Wildstorm's Superman, Apollo. Who comes out on top? Let's find out. Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, former U.S. military general, and is the father of Betty Ross, an arch enemy of the Incredible Hulk. Ross even went on to strike a deal with villains to be transformed into a Hulk himself. As the ruthless and cunning Red Hulk, he attempted to destroy his nemesis and take control of the country, before seeking redemption as an Avenger, the leader of the Thunderbolts. Now Ross has the ability to transform into the Red Hulk at will, and the transformation gives him massive physical strength, durability, and a healing factor. He can easily lift over 100 tons, be able to battle against the regular Hulk, Thor, Colossus-Knot, and Angrier, as well as easily overpower people like She-Hulk, Abomination, and A-Bomb. He's thrown massive boulders, destroyed huge comets, broke out of Magneto's grasp, briefly withstood the pull of a black hole, and his thunderclap is enough to cause avalanches and cancel out tornadoes. Red Hulk is durable enough to take blows from Thor and Hulk, but these powerhouses can still damage him, and in time may result in a KO. His skin and muscles are thick and dense enough to survive the pressure of the deep sea, outer space, molten lava, although he does have a weakness to sharp objects, like Wolverine's claws might injure him before. Punisher's even injured him with a knife. Red Hulk does possess an incredible accelerated healing factor though, and is able to recover from almost any injury. When Wolverine stabbed out his eyes, Ross quickly regrew them, although it wasn't as fast as the Hulk would have done it. As Red Hulk gets more and more angry, he unleashes high temperatures and heat from his body, though this can actually be very destructive, since the heat is so intense, essentially cooking Red Hulk from the inside out. So, as we got one corner, Red Hulk. But, entering the ring, the other corner, Apollo. Apollo is a solar-powered member of Stormwatch, is one of the leading members, and is safe to say that he is extremely powerful. He's also known for his relationship with fellow Stormwatch member Midnighter. Apollo's abilities are powered by solar energy, which absorbs from the sun's UV rays, similar to photosynthesis. He's able to store limited quantities inside his body. However, if Apollo ever loses exposure to the sun, he'll quickly lose his powers, starting with his ability to fly. But he's only got to be exposed to the sun for about 20 seconds. He's able to regain his powers and is fully charged in 2 hours. So, but will quickly recover from lack of sunlight. At full power, Apollo is strong enough to practically level city blocks, destroy entire spaceships the size of continents by flying through them, is able to absolutely annihilate other superpowered beings, and is strong enough to battle against Captain Atom. Also durable enough to no cell attacks from Captain Atom, who just earlier beat Mr. Majestic with 2 shots. He could withstand the molten heat of the Earth's core, and Apollo's even been hit hard enough to send him sailing around the planet and remain conscious. Apollo is also ridiculously fast, able to quickly fly from the moon to Mars, and even traversed across the Earth in less than 30 seconds. Apollo's also got some pretty powerful energy projection powers. He's able to shoot energy from basically any part of his body, such as eyes, hands, and even his mouth. And these beams have caused some serious destruction before, and taken down powerful enemies. Apollo also isn't afraid to get his hands a bit bloody, or fight dirty either. He flew straight through a guy's head before. He even said he's been trained in how to fight, because strength means nothing if you don't know how to use it. Now you can't be married to Midnighter without learning how to fight dirty. However, Apollo has got some serious weaknesses as well. Namely, the guy has almost no endurance, as his energy and power reserves can be quickly depleted, actually just straight up run out of energy during several fights. Apollo also isn't particularly smart or clever, as even his husband Midnighter refers to him as a dumb blonde. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, Superman vs. Hulk is arguably one of, if not the, most iconic fight in all of comics. But today we're mixing up a little bit, putting a twist on this classic fight, throwing Red Hulk up against the Wildstorm universe's Superman, Apollo. So who's coming out on top here? Well, let's find out. Also, just a note, Apollo won't be given his doors in this fight. One of his favorite tactics is to use a door to transport himself and enemies to the sun, injuring and usually killing them from the heat while he gains more power in the process. Just too easy of a victory here, especially since Red Hulk can't fly. Is we're going to force Apollo to stay back on Earth and fight it out like a man. And first thing we need to take a look at is physicality. That's honestly just going to be an absolutely huge part of this battle. So that raises the question, just how strong are these guys? Well, Red Hulk is one of the very few beings who can go toe-to-toe with the actual Hulk and come out the other side victorious. Their battles are intense and vicious. At one time, Red Hulk and Doc Green going at it resulted in the entire world shaking from earthquakes. He's casually and easily beaten Abomination, punched A-Bomb so hard that it registered at a 9 on the Richter scale. Just for comparison, Juggernaut maxed out at 8. And he's overpowered Icarus, who's about as close as you can get to Apollo in the Marvel Universe. Ross managed to destroy a massive comet headed to Earth with just one blow. He's withstood the pull of a black hole, and has traded blows with Angrier, Breaker of Souls, and Omegax, Destroyer of Worlds. Red Hulk is seriously powerful and seriously strong. And as strong as Apollo is, I don't think he can actually surpass Ross in this area. Apollo is constantly causing serious destruction and bludgeoning superhumans. But there are two feats in particular they could use to potentially argue Apollo is stronger than Rolk. There's a time where Apollo flew into a docking bay the size of a continent and proceeded to cause it to explode. And there was a time where he beat the crap out of Captain Atom. And yeah, Apollo technically lost and Atom won, but during that brief moment, Apollo was definitely on top in that fight. However, I don't think those instances are quite enough to say that he's stronger than Red Hulk. Hulk has just been much more consistent in his strength level throughout the years, and being able to battle against and beat Hulk, or battle against Thor, Colossus Knots, and other powerhouses kinda seals the deal. So then what about durability? Well, one time Apollo took an attack from Captain Atom like it was absolutely nothing. Whereas just earlier in the story, Atom was actually able to beat Mr. Majestic with just 2 shots. Another time, he was hit hard enough to knock him around the entire planet just a few minutes, yet stayed conscious, was actually ready to take another hit. But again, I don't think that even that can necessarily compare with Red Hulk. I mean, he's a Hulk, obviously, but the guy's just an absolute tank. He's taken some massive beatings from Iron Man, from Namor, from Hulk, Hyperion, Thor, didn't go down. Really, the best they did was just give him a bloody nose. He's had Avengers Tower crash down on top of him, taking falls from 6-7 miles up in the air. He's been punched 15 miles away by Omegax, so was thoroughly unimpressed, and taken massive beatings from Angrier and punched several states over. Still didn't pass out and was still joking around. So Thor, Hulk, even Hyperion are all stronger than Apollo. Red Hulk took punches and beatings from them really like it was nothing. He should be able to take a beating from Apollo just fine too. Same with Apollo's Energy Blast. His Energy Blasts are powerful, but Red Hulk's taking blast of lightning from Thor. Energy Blast from Kukulkan, leader of the Mayan gods. Optic Blast from Phoenix Force Cyclops. He's taking combined attacks from the likes of Phoenix Emma Frost, Phoenix Cyclops, Phoenix Magic, and Magneto. Took all of it, didn't go down. In fact, even with all of their firepower, the X-Men were convinced that they couldn't hold Ross for forever. Powerful as Apollo is, he's going to be real hard-pressed to dish out that kind of power level. So Red Hulk is stronger and more durable, but Apollo is definitely faster. In fact, I think there's probably a much larger gap for speed than there is for strength or durability between the two. Just like Superman, Apollo's been said to be faster than a speeding bullet. He's flown from the moon to Mars just a few moments, flown halfway around the world in just 30 seconds. And Apollo actually really likes to use his speed in a fight. Not necessarily like Spider-Man or definitely not like the Flash, where they're just dodging all sorts of attacks and completely blitzing their opponents. But Apollo loves to combine his speed with his strength and just straight up fly through people. Seriously, he does this kinda all the time. However, I don't think this strategy is going to be super effective against Red Hulk. Hulk is way too durable for Apollo just to fly straight through him. And once Apollo flies in, well, he'll be close enough for Ross to lay hands on him. That's not how you want to approach an encounter with the Hulk. Any Hulk. On top of that, Red Hulk has some additional counters for Apollo's speed. Yeah, he's obviously outclassed, but Hulk has fought against speedsters in the past, like Sentry and Hyperion, and he's got his thunderclaps. Those thunderclaps are definitely going to be the greatest counter for Apollo's speed. He's got thunderclaps powerful enough to completely stop and cancel out an F5 tornado. Another one powerful enough to clear a room full of robots, they're able to fight against some of the best Avengers. People like Iron Man, Storm, Vision, and Thor. Then there's a secondary option of Red Hulk trying to just jump, use his leaping ability. That's not really going to be super effective. Apollo is still going to be faster and more maneuverable while in the air than Red Hulk. Be able to dodge Ross's jumps, just generally beat Red Hulk while in the air. Speed and flight are a massive advantage for Apollo here in the battle. And then last but not least, there's Apollo's Energy Blast, which I really don't think are going to be effective at all. We've already been over this. Red Hulk is just way too durable to be put down by Apollo's Energy Blast. On top of that, Red Hulk is actually able to absorb energy coming his way too. And while this is a lot more of a last resort tactic for Ross, since absorb too much, he stays Red Hulk for forever, but it is an easy way to put Apollo down for good. That actually works out here, because Apollo has terrible stamina and endurance to begin with, constantly need to recharge himself with direct contact with the sun's rays. And Apollo's brutality won't even lead him to victory here, because Red Hulk is equally savagely brutal. And he's a military genius, much more strategic and tactical on top of that. So, end of the day, who wins? Well, I think it's gotta be Red Hulk. Apollo is strong, he's tough, and speed is his greatest asset here. But Red Hulk is just stronger, tougher, and he's got ways to counter Apollo's speed advantage. On top of that, he can absorb Apollo's energy. He's equally brutal, actually a lot smarter and more strategic. Red Hulk is coming out on top here. Red Hulk wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to the like button, subscribe button, turn notifications on the DanCo army, and I will see you all next time.